Hello everyone, welcome to Wicked West Books. My name is Meg West, and today I will be talking to you about Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. It is the first book in the Dark Artifices series, which is a new Shadowhunter series that Cassandra Clare has started. I want to start off by giving you a little bit of my history with the Shadowhunter world so that you kind of know where I'm coming from. I first started reading the Mortal Instruments books when there were only the first 3 books out, and the first time I read them, I absolutely loved them. Then the Infernal Devices trilogy came out, and I absolutely loved those. Then the final books to TMI came out, and I reread books 1 through 3, and the second time through, I kind of hated them just a little bit because of just how whiny Jace and Clary were throughout the series. As you may know, one of my New Year's resolutions for this year was to participate in every booksplosion this year that I can, and so in order to read Lady Midnight and not be spoiled, I had to get caught up. The last books, I saw great improvement over the first 3 books in TMI. There was an improvement in writing, plotline, the characters stopped their whining, and it was really nice. And so I was looking forward to Lady Midnight. I'd heard nothing but great things about Lady Midnight. You meet the characters in the final book of the Mortal Instruments series for the first time, and so you get to see what happens to them after the Dark War, but I was really looking forward to it. I ended up giving Lady Midnight 3.5 stars, which I did round up to 4 on Goodreads. It was on the higher side of that, but I still think it only really deserved the 3.5 stars. I was kind of disappointed. So for the beginning, this is non-spoilery. I'll let you know when I start going into spoilers. I kind of noticed that she has a kind of theme going on with her books where the plot is not the most important thing about it. And by that I mean, the characters don't really have to do anything in order to solve the issues that are put in front of them. If a question pops up and they don't know the answer, they'll just set it on a back burner until the answer comes to them. They don't really actively look for it. They just kind of go along their daily lives as they're expected to do, and things just fall into place for them. That is something that I would really like to see a little bit less of. I would like them to try to actually figure clues out and things like that, and maybe see that process more instead of it being done in a separate room from the main characters so that it doesn't have to be written down, is kind of how I felt like that was going. And I really would like to see the plot line be put in a more forward position in the book instead of on one of the back burners. And this whole thing was the biggest downside for me. It's why I took away so much from the story as far as my rating went. And I would really like to see more plot because it's there, it's just buried behind everything else. I also found that with Lady Midnight, unlike with the Mortal Instruments or with the Infernal Devices trilogy, we have a main character who has been raised as a Shadowhunter, and it made me feel a little harder to connect to her and relate to what she's going through because they grew up so differently from mundanes. Clary grew up mundane, and so we could relate to her when she joined in the Shadowhunter world. And I think Cassandra Clare knew that because she picked a place for these to take place where not knowing anything about the mundane world would have been really misplaced. And so she tried to temper that. It just still didn't quite get there for me. So I found Emma and the group a little bit harder to connect to. The big redeeming factor for this novel is the relationships between the characters. Cassandra Clare has some funny lines in there, and there are some parts that just make you want to laugh. But the best part was the connections that these characters formed with each other, from best friend to sibling to adopted sibling, where you're not actually related, but you grew up together, so you think of them as your own siblings. And just the way that whole interactions, the way that the whole of them interacting with each other played out, I thought was marvelously done. And it was about the best thing in the book. That's it for the non-spoilery section. I'm going to go into just some details that stuck out to me from the book, and they will be spoilers. First thing I want to say as far as the spoilers go is that I didn't see Malcolm's betrayal coming. I didn't see it, and for me as a reader, I normally see when things are happening or when someone's hiding something, and I didn't get that picture at all from Malcolm, and I don't think anyone is going to be that careful that they don't let something slip that might make you think for a second that they're not who they are. And so I didn't quite like that there was no foreshadowing for that betrayal. And then Malcolm's end came so suddenly, and it's just his plot line is over. And that did come as a little bit of a shock because it is book one, although I do wonder what is going to happen now that Annabelle has opened her eyes, as it happens in the epilogue. I'm also not quite sure that I trust Perfect Diego. Cassandra Clare does a lot of romance in her books between characters, and it usually works out. So it's about time that one of the relationships don't work out, because that is something that happens in real life. I did really like that Emma and Julian slept together. However, the fact that they are shadow hunters causes me to not quite believe the fact that they wouldn't wake up with someone standing over them on the beach out in a public place. And the last spoilery thing is that I am looking forward to seeing where the relationship with Emma and Mark goes. Obviously, I don't think she's actually going to fall in love with him, and I don't think he's really going to fall in love with her, but I am interested to see how that plays out, and I expect that it will last for most, if not all, of book 2, and maybe into book 3. I know that my opinion is not one of the most popular as far as Cassandra Clare goes. I'm kind of caught in the middle. You have people who absolutely love it, and then you have people on the opposite side who absolutely hate it, and I'm kind of in the middle. And because of that, Cassandra Clare's books are kind of hit or miss for me. And thus, one of my unpopular opinions is out on the internet for everyone to see. Alright, so that's all I really have for you guys today. So thank you for watching. I will see you guys next week. Have a wicked day.